there, Kate Archick here with Professional Planning Services, where we aim to be your transition to Medicare team. And one of the biggest steps of any transition to Medicare is, of course, applying for Medicare. And there are two common scenarios when applying for Medicare. There's the first scenario, which is you're turning 65 and you need Medicare to start the first day of the month that you turn 65. Now, the second scenario is you have deferred Medicare. You're still working, but now you're coming up to retirement and you need Medicare to start. So this video is only going to cover the first situation where you're trying to apply for Medicare when you're first eligible at age 65. So if that applies to you, stick around and we'll get more into the details right now. First, let's discuss what we're going to talk about in this video. The first thing is we're going to look at possible reasons to sign up for Medicare when you turn age 65. Now, not everyone is going to have to sign up for both Parts A and Part B at age 65. So the first category can be very important in deciding whether or not you will actually need to get Medicare when you're first eligible. Next, we'll talk about how to sign up for Medicare. If you have determined that is what you want to do at age 65. And lastly, if you've decided that signing up for Part A or Part B of Medicare is not right for you at the moment, then we will talk about how to defer different parts of Medicare when you're first eligible at age 65. Before talking about the reasons for why you may want to sign up for Medicare at age 65, I do want to point out the fact that just because you're turning 65 does not mean that you have to sign up for Medicare. It simply means that you are first eligible for Medicare Part A and Part B. So with that being said, one of the first reasons that you may want to sign up for Medicare at age 65 is that you're not covered by a creditable health insurance coverage through either your active employment or a spouse's active employment. So the reason this is important is, as you can see here, that if you're covered by a group health plan or active employer coverage by you or a spouse, and that plan has more than 20 employees associated with it, you don't necessarily need to get Part B of Medicare. This coverage, the employer coverage, can act as creditable coverage, meaning it is as good or better than what Medicare provides, and you will avoid being penalized in the future. You should confirm with your benefits director or human resources department that their plan is creditable for Medicare and there's more than 20 employees. So if that's not the case, though, and you're not covered by an active employer coverage, you will want to get Medicare A and B when you're first eligible at age 65, or you do risk having gaps in coverage and you risk the threat of having a penalty when you sign up in the future. Now, if you are covered by a spouse's active employer coverage or your own active employer health coverage, it does not always mean that you will automatically want to delay Medicare Part A or Part B. There's another situation where when you're working or when your spouse is working, you will still want to get Medicare A and B when first eligible at age 65. And that situation is that you are covered by an employer health insurance and that employer has less than 20 employees. You see, if you look here on Medicare.gov, it is plainly spelled out that if your employer or your spouse's employer has fewer than 20 employees, you should sign up for Medicare Part A and Part B when you're first eligible. And again, per eligible means that you're turning 65. And in this case, the reason it's so important to still get Medicare A and B, even if you're covered by your employer coverage, is because Medicare automatically becomes primary at age 65 if you're covered by an employer with less than 20 employees. So what this means is if you turn 65 and you're covered by a small employer health insurance, Medicare is automatically primary. You don't want to be paying for coverage through your employer that you won't be using. So if you don't sign up for Medicare A and B, your secondary insurance, your employer insurance, may deny claims that Medicare should have paid because now they're secondary. This is very similar to what happens with retiree coverage and COBRA coverage. So if you have more questions on how this may work, you can always look at our COBRA video. But again, if you're covered by an employer with less than 20 employees, and you're turning 65, you will want to sign up for Medicare A and B when you're first eligible in order to avoid having a claim go unpaid or to even avoid possible penalty in the future if you decide to enroll in Part B at a later date. Also, know that determining the amount of employees or the 20 employee threshold does come with some different variables. So always talk with one of our advisors before ultimately making the decision whether or not you should sign up for Medicare Part A or Part B when turning 65. Let's shift now to another reason why you may want to sign up for Medicare A and B at age 65. And that reason is that you compare your health insurance from an active employer through you or a spouse to Medicare options. And you simply decided that Medicare ends up actually being a better choice when it comes to either cost or coverage or both. So this one, I won't get into too much detail because really it is a personal choice. But even if you have employer coverage, even if the employer has more than 20 employees, it is always a good idea to compare your employer coverage to your options with Medicare when turning 65. Not often, but sometimes the math will come out where you want to get Medicare and a Medicare A or an Advantage plan and supplement Medicare B instead of continuing on your employer coverage, even though you technically could because it's a larger employer. So again, if you have more specific questions on that, give us a call or let us know, as it's kind of too much to go through in this particular video. And another situation where when you're turning 65, you will want to sign up or you'll likely want to sign up for A and B is that you're covered by either COBRA or retiree coverage by your former employer or a spouse's former employer. So again, this is not active employer coverage. This means you're turning 65 and you're covered by retiree coverage or COBRA coverage. And this is very similar to when you have an employer with less than 20 employees. As you can see here from the Who Pays First Medicare guidebook, you can see that Medicare is primary to COBRA or retiree coverage when you turn 65. So if that's the case, you will want Medicare A and B upon turning 65. That way, your secondary coverage or COBRA or retiree will pay after your primary coverage, which is, in this case, becomes Medicare. We just went over plenty of examples as to why you may or may not want Medicare Part A and Part B when you're first eligible at 65. But now you may be thinking to yourself, I do want Medicare. I want it to start at age 65. Now what? What do I need to do in order to make that happen? Well, the first thing we will look at is the sign-up period. So the time you can sign up for Medicare when you're first eligible at age 65 is called your initial enrollment period. This is the period that is 7 months long, the 3 months before you turn 65, the month of your 65th birthday, and 3 months after you turn 65. Now, I will tell you that you will likely want Medicare to start the first day of the month you turn 65. So in order to do that, you will want to utilize the 3 months before you turn 65. To sign up for Medicare A and B, the month of or in the 3 months after is really for people who didn't realize that they were supposed to sign up. It still gives you a chance to sign up, but it's not the ideal way to do it. So if you want Medicare to start on the first day of the month that you turn 65, you have to apply during the 3-month period before you turn 65. So if you're turning 65 in July the 15th, your Medicare should start July 1st, and you'll want to apply during April, May, or June of that year in order for it to start July 1st. So even if you turn 65 on the 28th, you'll still want to make it start the first day of the month you turn 65. One quick caveat though, if you're born on the 1st of the month, it will start the month prior. So if that does apply to you, let us know and we can walk you through those specific examples. So again, this is your initial enrollment period. The initial enrollment period covers when to sign up topic, but now we need to look at how. So there's really two situations that will apply to you when you're signing up for Medicare the first time at age 65. If you're signing up after age 65, look at our other video for that topic. But again, this is if you're starting at age 65. So the first situation is that you are already receiving Social Security or railroad retiree benefits for at least 4 months before turning 65. If that's the case, you will automatically be enrolled into Medicare A and B when you first are eligible. And the card will be sent to you ahead of time before the first day of the month of your 65th birthday. So if you are drawing Social Security or railroad retiree benefits and you want Medicare to start when you're first 65, you do not need to do anything. You just need to wait for your card to come in the mail. And again, that's your red, white, and blue Medicare card. Now, the second situation is that you're not receiving Social Security or railroad retiree benefits for at least 4 months before turning 65. If this applies to you, you will have to actively enroll into A and B of Medicare in order for it to start the first day of the month you plan to turn 65. And there are a few ways that you can do this. As you can see on the screen, according to Medicare.gov, you can apply online at socialsecurity.gov or SSA.gov. You can call Social Security directly, or you can also go into your local Social Security office and go through the application process to get Medicare started the first day of the month you turn 65. I can tell you that our preferred method for this is to just go online if you're applying for A and B when you're first eligible at age 65. In order to go online to sign up for Medicare, it's very simple. You simply go to ssa.gov on your computer. You will see this screen pop up for the home screen, and you will go down and click on this box, which is Medicare enrollment. And then when you do that, you will click this big blue button that says apply for Medicare only. And you will be prompted to go through the application process to get Medicare A and B. And again, if you have any issues with this, you can give us a call. And this is Social Security's website, but you do have to go through them to sign up for Medicare. This does not sign you up for Social Security. It's strictly signing you up for Medicare Part A and or Part B. So we just talked about the when and the how to start Medicare A and B when you're first eligible at age 65, but you may be sitting there as somebody that thinks, I don't want Medicare A and B when I first turn 65. So this next section is going to be for you, where we're going to talk about how you can defer Medicare Part B and even Medicare Part A if that's applicable. Now, most people that don't want Medicare right at age 65, you still probably want Medicare Part A because it's typically no cost to you as long as you've paid your FICA taxes for up to 10 years. So if that applies to you and you get no cost Part A, you will still likely want to get Part A, and you will only want to defer Part B if you're still planning on working. So if you're trying to defer Part B, there's two scenarios to look at. The first is that you're getting Social Security benefits or railroad benefits, but you do not want Part B to start right at age 65. What you need to do for this is you can either refuse Part B by calling Social Security before you turn 65 in that couple month window before you start Medicare, or you can follow the instructions on the card and the welcome packet that they will send you before you turn 65, like we just talked about. So that is if you are actually already drawing benefits before you turn 65 and you do not want Medicare Part B. And again, just make sure you're only giving up Part B in this case if you still want Medicare Part A. Now, the second scenario is again that you're not drawing Social Security benefits or retiree benefits through the railroad. If this is the case, then all you have to do is only sign up for A when you first are approaching age 65. This can also be done online, over the phone, or in person at Social Security. Just like we talked about before with signing up for A and B, you do the same steps, except this time you only sign up for Medicare Part A. Now, you may also be thinking to yourself, well, I heard somewhere that I also might want to defer Medicare Part A, and why would I want to do that? This applies to anyone that is contributing to an HSA, which is a health savings account, and you plan on continuing HSA contributions past age 65 and are covered by employer coverage. So if this is the case, you will not want Part A or B of Medicare when you're first turning 65. Medicare Part A is not HSA qualified plan. So if you contribute to an HSA at age 65 and you plan on continuing those contributions, you will not want Medicare Part A when you turn 65, or you could face some tax penalties. And we're going to have more in-depth discussions about this on other videos, but if you have specific HSA and Medicare questions, please give us a call because this is kind of a confusing topic and we'll want to go through it in more detail with you. But that is why you may not want A or B when you're starting at 65. A quick note that if you are drawing Social Security benefits and or railroad retiree benefits, you will have to get Part A of Medicare because it is tied to those benefits. So if you plan on contributing to an HSA and getting Social Security benefits past age 65, you will have to pick one or the other. So if you're doing the Social Security benefits, you will have to get Part A of Medicare and stop HSA contributions. Now, if you're not getting Social Security benefits or railroad retiree benefits and you're approaching age 65, you want to contribute to an HSA and you do not want A or B of Medicare. Here's the secret of how to not get an A or B, and it's simple. Do nothing. So I know that kind of sounds crazy because everyone always tells you that you do need to do something when you're turning age 65. But if you don't get Social Security or railroad benefits and you don't want A or B, do nothing and you will not be enrolled into Medicare. And you can see this right here on CMS's guideline for signing up for Medicare. All right, so we have made it to the end and you have seen plenty of reasons why you may want Medicare A and B at age 65, just Medicare A or even neither Medicare Part A or Part B when you're first eligible at age 65. So let's do a quick recap. So the first thing again, if you're not covered by active employer coverage with more than 20 employees and that employment is through you or a spouse, then you should sign up for Medicare A and B when you're first eligible at age 65. For specific situations, give us a call and we can walk you through that. The second thing we talked about is how you apply for Medicare at age 65 largely depends on if you are drawing Social Security or railroad benefits or if you're not drawing benefits. And lastly, for number 3, talk to somebody before you turn 65. As you can see, you may not even need to do anything, but it's really important to have a conversation with an expert before turning 65 to evaluate your current situation and to see what to do or not to do before becoming first eligible when you first turn 65. So if you do have questions on that, give us a call, send us an email. We're happy to help you go through the specifics. But for now, please like this video or subscribe if you have found any of our content useful, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks.